Hi everyone. So, excuse the wobbly camera. I'm sitting outside and I'm holding the thing, so just deal with it. I got a message on a number of questions that someone would like some perspective on, and I don't have anything where I can actually read it out. So, hopefully, I'm gonna cover all of the points that he wanted me to cover. But the gist of it is, why is the relationship system so prominent in us? And yes, when I say that, you are not alone in feeling like this constant search for the right partner and things like that. That is a very common experience. Okay, so just to clear that right away. Why is the relationship system such a big one? And when people who are, for example, walking the destiny process, or who have committed themselves to a particular purpose in life, when they meet a person who they feel a very strong connection with, what are the chances that they're simply going to give up on this purpose that they have been committed to for however long and go head over heels into a relationship and make that the primary focus of themselves and their lives? So let's start off with the design of the relationship system. So basically, relationships and money are the two big things that pretty much everyone faces in this life. They're the two biggest, most consuming things that we have to walk through. In terms of relationships, yes, the whole design of relationships was to be a distraction, was for people to just stop focusing on other things and make their primary focus on their relationship and having a happy life and getting enough sex and all of these things. So in that respect, yeah, it's a big one. In terms of the experience of when you go out and you see people and you feel a connection, and the immediate question that comes up of, is that the one? That can be quite a strong experience for a lot of people. And it is, yes, it's part of that whole relationship construct of, yes, relationships can become kind of like, we become kind of obsessed within them. So what's interesting is this point can come up even when you're in a committed relationship. So that's not a reflection of you being with the right or the wrong partner. It's a reflection of how we've been designed and how our minds have been designed to constantly be on the chase, constantly be on the lookout, looking for the perfection, looking for the right one, when at the end of the day, there isn't really a right one. There are good matches and there are not so good matches, but we have the capacity to, with a lot of time and dedication and effort, we can make things work. And sometimes the better matches are a little bit easier to make work and don't require as much time and effort. So, yes, it is part of that whole design. No, it doesn't mean that there's something wrong with it. It just means that when this drive comes up of, is that the one for me, or is that a good partner for me, then we can ask ourselves the question, okay, why is this coming up within me? Is it something that I have directed? Is it something that I'm deliberately bringing up within myself, or has it been triggered? And okay, if it's been triggered, now what am I going to do about it? Am I going to allow it to play out? Am I going to go down an obsessive path? Am I going to breathe and let it go? That's for us to decide. What are we going to do in those moments? So it's not again, it's not a good or a bad thing. It's for each of us, with everything that we walk through in our lives, we are the ones who must determine, is this something that is acceptable to me? Is this something that I want to live? If it is something that you want to live, by all means, live it, walk it. It doesn't mean that you can't change your mind down the road. Maybe you want to live it now, but in 5 years' time, you might feel differently. And if it's something that you don't want to live, well, okay, make a plan to stop it. When it comes to these kinds of obsessive relationship type things, yes, it can take a little bit more time and a little bit more effort, but practice the point of awareness of when these points come up within you that you don't actually like, that you have investigated for yourself, and you can see why they're coming up for you in your life, in your situation, in your experiences, and you've decided that you don't want to keep living this point, then create a way for you to support yourself, to redirect yourself in those moments where it comes up and create a different response. Alright, so then the question of, does a relationship mean that you're going to now drop everything, your purpose, your motivation, and focus everything on the relationship? Well, that's up to you to decide. Some people do that. Some people find a relationship and that becomes their entire world. And again, it's not good or bad. It is their point to walk. It's their experience to have. It's their choice to make. It's their life to live, and they are going to be facing the consequences of that. It's up to each one of us to decide what we want to live. If you want to create a balance in your life between your relationship and your purpose and everything else, then that's what you work towards. And it doesn't make relationships a bad thing because they've been initially. I'm gonna pause. As I was saying, it doesn't make relationships a bad thing. Relationships actually can be one of the greatest forms of support that we can have, because our partners can be that point of support to help us strengthen our weaknesses and to help us face the things that we have had trouble with facing on our own. It can be someone with whom we can develop a safe space where we can communicate openly and share every part of ourselves without judgment, without reservation, and make the focus about exploration, self-investigation, about facing those points that we've been too scared to face, and getting some support on different ways that we can approach different solutions. So a relationship doesn't have to be this point where you either don't have a relationship and you just focus on your purpose, or you have a relationship and you drop everything else in your life and you just focus on the relationship. The key in everything is balance. You can have and you can create a life where you have a supportive relationship that is about growth, that's about self-exploration, that's about getting to know yourself, getting to know your partner, about understanding and reflection and consideration and giving and sharing. It doesn't have to be something different, and we are the ones who are going to determine what kind of relationships we build, because we are the ones who build them. Okay, I hope that these points have answered your questions. If not, then please let me know which points I need to elaborate on more or cover or answer. Okay, yeah. So thanks everyone for watching. If you'd like to support me, you can do so on Patreon. The link is in the description. Otherwise, I shall see you next time. Thanks for watching.